And welcome to tonight's game. We're here in Bernie for the last regular season telecast, anyways, for YHC this year. We've got Caruthersville versus Bernie for a regular season finale. And I'm Tyler Wagner along with Ed Gargis for tonight's game. And Ed, this is the final game we've got of the year. Bernie coming into this game a little bit inconsistent over the past few weeks, but coming off a fine win Tuesday night over a very hot Holcomb team.
Yes, impressive victory. Obviously a quality win for the Bernie Mules, and they certainly played to the level and the caliber that Coach Botts expects them and that their fans have come to expect as well. So be interesting to see if they're able to put together back-to-back performances of that level. And also I think Caruthersville maybe a little bit bigger than Holcomb. Man for man, they don't have a Massey, but and probably going to have a little more quickness too than what Holcomb has. So Bernie's going to certainly have their hands full tonight. They're down a couple of guys. Bernie is. They're bringing some guys up from the JV level, get them some experience and hopefully some quality playing minutes. But it ought to be an exciting ball game.
Certainly, and Caruthersville, this is the first time we've seen Caruthersville this year on YHC. They've had an impressive season, got some quality wins, but they've been inconsistent as well over the course of the year, playing out of the Boot Hill Conference, and they've got the talent to work with, certainly. So we've got a good one here geared up for you here on YHC between Caruthersville and Bernie.
Senior night here at Bernie, but haven't heard if there's going to be an announcement or not.
I think we will recognize some seniors here for the tip-off.
Yes, they're having see Caruthersville taking a seat now. They're on your screen as they'll take a seat while there's an introduction of the senior members of the Bernie Mules.
And I believe there's only 2 seniors on the squad at this point for the Bernie Mules, so it shouldn't take all that long.
No. Yeah, Bryce Rogers and Jacob Clayton, number 24 and 52 respectively.
First senior is Jacob Clayton.
Jacob Clayton, the first one recognized there. He's number 52, 6'5" senior.
Judge future plans after graduation to go to Owens Ridge College for 2 years and then on to Harding University to pursue a degree in teaching history at the college level. Bryce Rogers.
And then this Bryce Rogers, 6'3" senior, number 24.
Bryce is the son of Jeff and Amanda Rogers. Bryce is active in basketball, Scholar Bowl, FBLA, FCCLA, and band club. Bryce's future plans after graduation are to attend college at Harding University and major in psychology.
And so there are your 2 senior members of the Bernie Mule basketball team. They are now receiving a standing ovation here in the Bernie Mule gym.
Certainly a great tradition of high school basketball here at Bernie, and anytime you see players lead the program, the school, they certainly take the time to recognize their contribution. So always nice to come down to Bernie this time of year. They've always got a team.
Absolutely.
Certainly for the past few years, and certainly do this year. They're always competitive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's varsity matchup between the Caruthersville Tigers and your Bernie Mules.
And we're back, starting for the Caruthersville Tigers tonight. Number 5, L.B. Fonda, 5'10" senior.
Position, the 5'15" sophomore,
Number 1, Jamal Johnson, 5'10", sophomore. Number 3, Stephen Rogers, 5'10", junior.
And the other four, the 5'14" senior, number 14, Tyler Cobb.
Number 14, 5'10" senior, Tyler Cobb.
And in center, the 6'2" sophomore, number 21, Darryl.
And the fifth starter, the center, number 21, 6'2" sophomore, Darryl Monroe. Darryl, quite the accomplished football player as well.
Certainly. You're looking at one of the top athletes in this part of the country.
And now your Bernie Mules. Number 30, number 35, Sam Turner, 6'3", junior. And number 10, Landon Woods, 5'11", junior. Number 31, 6-foot junior, David Baker. Baker with a career game against Holcomb the other night. And number 24, the senior, Bryce Rogers, 6'3". And his center will be the senior, number 52, 6'5" senior, Jacob Flake. We're moments away here, Tyler, from tip-off senior night here at Bernie. As always, a nearly packed gymnasium here at Bernie. Always a great crowd, a great arena to watch basketball in. Always a lot of enthusiasm.
It's a good matchup between these two teams and a good test for each one of them heading into district play next week.
Monroe and Caruthersville Tigers control the ball. Johnson gets it over to number 14, Cobb, back to Johnson. Out to Elby Fonda. Johnson over to number 3, Stephen Rogers. To Johnson, back to Monroe. Short from the baseline. Fleeced up by Bryce, but good hustle by Elby Fonda on the ground there to get a hand and call the jump ball, or I guess the possession roll will go in favor of the Bernie Mules. So Rogers will take it out underneath. Rogers into Baker, but knocked out of bounds by Jamal Johnson. Ball will stay with the Mules. Then down into Baker, back to Bryce. Rogers gets it over to Turner, to Rogers. Rogers working against Tyler Cobb. Now Landon Woods working against Stephen Rogers. Back up to Rogers. Down to Baker. The worker against Jamal Johnson. Woods back out to Baker. Double team Woods. Drives the baseline. Goes away. Shot. Turner no good. Rebound Caruthersville. They push it out front. Stephen Rogers goes up for the layup. No good. Is fouled by Sam Turner. Call for the block. It'll be 2 shots for Stephen Rogers.
That's one thing Bernie will definitely have to do as soon as they do not get the offensive rebound. As soon as Caruthersville comes away with it, they've got to get back on defense because Caruthersville feeds off of defensive rebounds getting out in the open court.
That's the way Coach Heath grew up playing it there at Scott County Central, so that's the way he coaches it here.
It's been successful everywhere he's been.
Rogers misses on both. Rebound to the Mules. Woods over to Turner. Gets it up to Baker. Baker double team. Back down to Turner. Turner drives the lane, won't go. Rebound. And the putback by Clayton for the first bucket of the game. Three-pointer there, good by Stephen Rogers to give the Tigers their first lead of the ball game. Woods working against Rogers. Woods still working the ball. Nice crossover. Tries to dump it down to Clayton. Won't go. Taken by Monroe. Over to Fonda. Fonda pushes Monroe. Nice jump shot there by Monroe for his first bucket. We got a timeout on the court, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Quality Center Furniture and Appliance in downtown Malden for the best selection of Whirlpool and Maytag appliances. We also have the newest LCD, LED, and plasma high-definition televisions from LG and Hitachi, as well as the finest furniture for your living room or bedroom. Quality Center is an AT&T authorized retailer. And don't forget, delivery is available. So come experience the Quality Center Furniture and Appliance Store in downtown Malden.
And we're back. See what Coach Botch has drawn up from the playbook here in timeout. We'll see Bryce Rogers take the ball out underneath. Inbounds to Baker, back to Rogers. Pass over to number 5, B.J. Jennings into the game for the Mules. Looks like it was last tip by Tyler Cobb for the Tigers. So Jennings will take the ball out on the side court. Tries to get it to Woods underneath. Intercepted by Daryl Monroe. Out of bounds off Bernie. Stephen Rogers take the ball out on the side. Inbound to Tyler Cobb. Inside to Fonda, kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson for 3. That's 2 threes in the game now for the Tigers. They jump out to an 8-2 lead. Woods working against Rogers. Woods behind the back, loses the handle, gets the ball, gets it down low to Baker. Gets his defense off his feet, misses the layup. Back up, won't go, but he's fouled. In fact, the foul may be on, it is on L.B. Fonda, his first. Baker is shoot. Tyler, I forgot to announce who got that first foul for the Bernie Mules. Was that Baker? We'll catch up with it here soon, I hope. Baker's no good on both. Rebound Johnson. Feeds it out to Rogers. Goes up. There's the block on, charge on Rogers. Jennings working against Cobb. Over to Woods. Woods back to Jennings. Dumped it down to Baker. Over foul. Intercepted. Then we have a foul on Jennings.
Well, the ball pressure out front from the Caruthersville Tigers have been stifling here early on. Bernie having a tough time handling the ball out front, and then you saw that loft pass, and that's from the pressure out front. You want to get rid of the ball and threw it up a little too high.
Wow. Alley-oop attempt to Monroe. It's unsuccessful, but what an exciting play. A lot of athleticism there displayed by Daryl Monroe, the sophomore. Baker splits the defense, goes up and good. Baker's first bucket to bring his Mules within 4. Three-pointer by Rogers, no good. Rebounded by Turner. Turner tries to push it out. Ball's intercepted by Cobb. No look pass, intercepted by Rogers. Landon Woods now work against Cobb. Double team. Finds Roger alone on the baseline. Good. Rogers with his first bucket. Now a 2-point game. Bernie in the 2-3. Monroe tries to get it over to Johnson, but it was blocked by the goal. Woods will work the ball down the sideline. Gets it down low to Baker. Gets his defense up. Left hand won't go. Rebound Rogers. Cobb. Cobb will keep it himself. And it calls for the travel. The turnover Tigers back to the Mules. 3 minutes to go here in the first period. 2-point game. Possession arrow with the Tigers. Ball inbound to Turner. Or to Kirkpatrick, who snuck in the game for the Mules. Now Woods. Working against Fonda, gets Fonda up, loses the handle. Policed up by Kirkpatrick. Back out to Rogers. Over to Woods, gets it to Baker, loses the handle, and Johnson pushing the ball down court, almost intercepted by Rogers. Bucket up and good by Monroe. Monroe now with 4 points in the game. Kirkpatrick for three. Count it, off the glass. And that cuts the lead to one.
Kirkpatrick certainly one of the finer shooters for Bernie, and he had a hand in the face, probably had to get a little more lift on that. That's why he saw the bank shot, but nice shot nonetheless.
There the point shot didn't go by Monroe. Left hand rebounded by Bernie, and timeout Bernie. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
People come from everywhere to get their deal from Lincoln Lacey. They come from Midview, Bloomville, or and from New Madrid, Bertrand, Campbell, Parma, Kelso, Lilburn, Portageville, Risco, Bernie. Lincoln Lacey is your domestic auto needs headquarters. From Rector, Arkansas, Gideon, Sykes, Head in Arkansas, Morehouse, Dexter, Minor, East Prairie, Charleston, Chaffee, Howard, Arkansas. Come on out to Lincoln Lacey in Malden.
And we're back. As we see Coach Eve getting final word in with his Tigers.
Bernie's been on a nice little run. They've taken better care of the ball, getting into an offensive rhythm, and starting to look a little better on offense. If you can handle the pressure out front, the ball pressure that Caruthersville applies, you can certainly be in this game. You just can't turn it over in the backcourt.
Nice pass there. Rogers with the bucket. So since the first bucket of the game, the Mules now have the lead again after leading 2-0. Loose ball picked up by Bernie. Jennings working against number 30 of Myron Woods. Down to Rogers. Gets it to Baker. Baker likes that baseline jump spot. Moves around, won't get open. Jennings called for the travel. He felt the pressure of Daryl Monroe. Number 21, number 24, Lee Jones, senior, in for the Tigers as well. As we got another timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
If you have the audacity to believe a financial advisor should talk with you, not at you.
If you have the nerve to believe meeting eye to eye helps you see eye to eye.
If you believe access to your financial advisor should be a right, not a privilege.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
Join us. Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
And we're back. Cobb inbound the ball to Johnson. Minute to go here in the first period. Mules on top by 1. LB Fonda with the ball back over to Johnson, to Rogers. Cobb rather. Fonda looking to drive the baseline. Kicks it back out to Rogers. Count it, or that's Cobb. Cobb's first bucket. And the lead goes back to the Tigers. 3 lead changes already here in the early parts of the game, Tyler.
Yeah, we saw
double team.
Caruthersville get out to a good lead, but Bernie's settling into their offense better, getting better looks, and forcing Caruthersville to play more honest on the defensive side of the ball.
Foul on Lee Jones, his first, third team foul against the Tigers. So we'll see Daryl Monroe come back in, and also number 12, Jeremy Grant, checking in for LB Fonda. Landon Woods inbound the ball, knocked out of bounds by number 30, Myron Woods. Rogers inbound the ball to Woods. Woods, guarding Woods there. Landon and Myron. Knocked out of bounds by Jamal Johnson. Ball will stay with the Mules. Landon Woods come over to the sideline, take it out. As he now directs Turner to take the ball out. Woods gets it to Rogers, over to Baker. Baker looking. Kirkpatrick. Nice shot from the baseline for Kirkpatrick. His second bucket now with 5 in the ball game at the end of 1. Bernie Mules on top, 13-12. We'll take a break and be right back.
At Allen Christian and Dexter, you'll like the way we do business for many reasons. We make the buying experience simple with a large selection of Buicks and GMCs to choose from. We offer quality pre-owned vehicles priced to fit any budget. No gimmicks, guaranteed. Shop us any day, anytime, here in Dexter or online at allenchristian.com. We service what we sell with one of the most experienced service departments in the Heartland area. Selection, price, experience, family owned for over 53 years. Allen Christian Buick GMC, Dexter.
Of the sweet land of liberty, of the icy land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom.
And we're back. Johnson over to Rogers there. Back over to Cobb. To Johnson. Out to LB Fonda. Cobb looking to drive the baseline. Goes up. Foul from behind. Or
stepped out of bounds, looks like.
Stepped out of bounds. So ball's going to go back to the Mules. Bryce Rogers. Tigers return to their press. Baker working against Monroe. Over to Rogers, loses the handle. Johnson, a lot of options there, and to put in by Steven Rogers for another lead change. 5th lead change of the game now. Woods working against Rogers. Loses the handle. Picked up, policed up by Rogers. We can say touched by the Tigers out of bounds. Ball to the Mules. Good hustle by both number 14, Tyler Cobb, and number 24, Bryce Rogers. Number 1, Jake Wagner, checked in the ball game for the Mules. Woods picks up his dribble. Kirkpatrick to Turner. Turner go up. No good. Rebound Wagner. Back out to Turner. Try to get the pass, cross-court pass to Kirkpatrick. Tipped out of bounds by Jamal Johnson of the Tigers. Tigers showing a lot of athleticism, a lot of quickness.
They certainly are. They anticipate very well. And just like you saw on that cross-court pass, almost taken away but deflected out of bounds. And that's what they rely on, is their defense to really create havoc.
Number 44, Brad Freed in the game for the Mules. Wagner for 3. High rebound won't go. Rebound by Monroe. To Fonda. Pushes it to Johnson. Back to Fonda. Cross 2. Rogers into Monroe. Off the glass. Won't go. Rebound Monroe. Still won't go. Rebound Monroe. It finally gets the roll. So Monroe, 2 in the quarter, 6 in the game. He extends the Tiger lead to 3. 3 shots, 3 rebounds. Monroe, 3 shots, 2 rebounds for Monroe there that last series. They'll be fine with the Monroe up, jams it in. Monroe showing his athleticism, his leaping ability as a 6'2 sophomore. Throws down the dunk, and with that we got a timeout. Bernie will take a break and be back.
Hello, I'm Dr. Terry Swinger, and I'm so pleased that YHC-TV will be carrying so many sporting events this year, both boys and girls. These events help with leadership, personality development, and I would like to wish all of our students and all of our schools a safe and successful year.
We know you have many choices in automobile dealerships, but at Glen Sain, our customers are special. We want you to understand that we're always working very hard to please our customers. We have a great selection to choose from, and with the 0% and the rebates and our prices at Glen Sain, it's a great time to buy. I'm Danny Ford, owner of Glen Sain. We want you to come see us, and God bless our troops.
We're back. Tyler, as we were talking in the break, Daryl Monroe's only a sophomore, 6'2", but showing great strength and quickness. It's in his leaping ability. We saw him run ragged on the football field.
Oh, yeah. Well, in football, it's different. You see his physicality, such as playing defense. You could just see how he was so strong, but now you're seeing just, the leaping ability he has, being able to get up and do the things that he can do.
A good follow-up there by Tyler Cobb. As we talked about, L.B. Fonda, when he got the rebound, he immediately threw it down the court to streaking Steven Rogers. And Rogers missed that layup, but his teammate there, Tyler Cobb, following just right behind for the putback. Tigers extend that lead to 7 now. They've scored the first 8 points here in the second quarter. Johnson knocked out of bounds by Kirkpatrick. L.B. Fonda takes the ball out underneath. Inbound to Rogers, over to Johnson, and there's Daryl Monroe using the glass and his size. Monroe now 10 in the ball game.
And that was all David Baker could do, was just to keep in front of him. He did, and Monroe just battles his way and rises up over the defense.
Woods over to Turner, being guarded by Daryl Monroe. To Jennings. To Woods, over to Rogers, guarded by Fonda. We got a foul.
Get a little testy down there. It's this warm weather, you know. It's
Foul on Jamal Johnson. That's team foul number 5 against the Tigers. Steven Rogers on the ground knocking the ball out. Inbound to Rogers, down to Baker, guarded by Monroe. Up, over Monroe and good. Baker now 4 points in the ball game, and the Mules first points here in the second quarter. 3-point no good. Rebound by Woods over to Cobb. Up, and the floater is good. Cobb now 4 1/4, 6 in the ball game. The Tiger lead stays at 9. Rogers looking to get it down to Baker. Up, won't go. Rebound Cobb as Cobb pushes it down the court over to Monroe. In and out. Rebound Baker. Woods kicks it out to Jennings, and Jennings with the 3 to cut the lead to 6. His first bucket of the game.
Nice
intercepted by Jennings. He'll go up left hand, count it. And Jennings back-to-back buckets to cuts this lead to 4.
Nice anticipation by Jennings. And to finish off that layup. Also had the 3 right before.
That time the ball intended for Monroe. Good defense by Bryce Rogers. Baker back to Jennings. Back to Baker. Pushes it up. Kirkpatrick. David Baker with the shot. High arcing shot won't go. Rebound by Rogers. He'll bring the ball down for the Tigers. Kicks it over to Johnson. Gets it to 12. Jeremy Grant. Back over to Fonda. Kicks it out to Rogers. Rogers back to Fonda. Cross court to Johnson. Rogers to Johnson. A lot of patience by the Tigers as Elby Fonda's jumper won't go. Rebound Woods being worked by against Jamal Johnson.
Jennings left open again.
Won't go this time. Rebound Johnson pushes it to Monroe. Monroe goes up underneath. Foul before the shot. I think that foul's on Landon Woods, but I couldn't see the referee's signal. It is Landon's first. 13 foul against the Mules. Monroe gets the ball in to Grant. Back to Monroe underneath. Up. Knocked out of bounds by Turner. They'll be fine to take the ball out underneath for the Tigers. Finds Johnson. Johnson for 3. Won't go. Rebound by number 15, Troy Kirkpatrick. Gets it over to Jennings, who's working against Rogers. Gets the ball freed. Freed thought he was fouled, but no call. A lot of movement by the Tigers. 3 won't go. Rebound Monroe taken away by Freed. Gets it over to Wagner, and he'll push the ball up to Kirkpatrick for 3. Count it. Kirkpatrick, his second 3 of the game. So we now have a 1-point ball game with 1:30 to go here in the half. Johnson gets it to Monroe off the glass. Count it, Monroe with 8 in the quarter, 12 in the game. Reed over to Kirkpatrick for 3 again. Won't go. Rebound Turner. And he's fouled by Monroe. As he got Monroe off his feet.
And almost over his head.
Yeah. Team foul number 6 against the Tigers. That was Monroe's first. Foul was not on the shot, so the inbound by Jennings. Out to Kirkpatrick. Gets it down low to Baker. Working against Monroe, won't go. Rogers out front to Johnson, and Johnson his first bucket of the quarter. Wagner cross. Turner. Baker goes up. Ball taken away by Fonda. Foul's going to be on Elby Fonda. 7th team foul. 2nd personal foul against Fonda. And Baker will be at the line. Woods checks in for Turner for the Mules. Baker good on both. Now shooting 50% from the line this game. Mules press. Quickness handles it easily. Monroe now 10 in the quarter. Bernie just really hasn't found an answer for him this quarter. Shot blocked by Monroe. Johnson up. Won't go. Rebound. Kirkpatrick. Jennings for 3. Good. Jennings now 2 threes in the quarter.
And a steal by Jennings.
And the layup to tie the ball game.
Just under 10 seconds.
Jennings 10 points in the quarter. Get the ball to Monroe's up. Shot. Won't go. Rebound Wagner. And no shot. So at the end of the first half, we have a tie ball game on senior night here in Bernie, 30-30. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
When I was a kid, we didn't have all these wireless devices. We only had one computer plugged into the wall, and we were grateful.
Technology changes fast. Stay ahead with blazing fast internet speeds from New Wave Communications. New Wave delivers the internet with incredible speeds, up to 50 megabits per second. Pick the package that's right for you. New Wave, the area's fastest internet, period.
Kids today don't know how good they have it.
The Sports Roundtable represents one of our great traditions here in Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas, and that's high school athletics. And nobody promotes it better than us here at YHC. What's new with the Roundtable this year? We're looking to add representatives from our local colleges, Southeast Missouri State, Arkansas State, and Three Rivers, to give us the inside scoop on local college athletics in our area. The Roundtable was designed to give local viewers in-depth analysis about teams and sports in our area, and we're geared up to go once again every Saturday morning live at 10 a.m.
And we're here at halftime from Bernie, and what a first half that was between these two teams. We got a tie score of 30-30 after one half of play.
Yeah, it was. And Bernie, they both quarters got down a few points. I think the largest lead may have been 8 or 9 points for the Tigers there in the second quarter, but into both quarters, Bernie kind of made a little run, and they kept themselves in the ball game at the right time at the end of the quarter. So,
and we saw Bernie's defense really be the thing that got them back into the game there at the end of the first half, forcing turnovers and scoring on the break, as we saw B.J. Jennings do on a few occasions.
Absolutely. Also, saw Coach Heath try to slow the ball down a little bit. Tigers run their offense, a lot of passes. It may have taken them a little bit out of their rhythm. And then, you miss a shot, don't get the rebound, but you expect to do with Monroe down there. And next thing you know, no points. The several seconds ticked off the clock. And a couple of possessions later, then next thing you know, where you were, Bernie was right back in it.
Sure.
As you said, Jennings, he knocked down 2 threes. And immediately the next possession of the Tigers after each of those threes was a takeaway and an out front pass to Jennings, and he goes in for a layup. So he scored 5 points, had a break, and then immediately scored 5 more points again right there at the end of the half to tie this game up. So real quick to Cook, the Tigers, as you saw, they were led by their big guy, Daryl Monroe, 14 points, 6 points to Tyler Cobb, 5 points each to Steven Rogers and Jamal Johnson. We talked about B.J. Jennings. He came in 10 points off the bench for the Mules, 8 points off the bench with Troy Kirkpatrick, also shooting 2 threes. 6 points to David Baker, 4 points to the senior Bryce Rogers, and the first 2 points of the ball game went to the senior Jacob Clayton. And there you have it, 30-30. Really no foul trouble on either team. Elby Fonda has 2 for the Tigers. All other fouls are to 1 each. So the ball will be with the Mules to start the second half as the Tigers won the opening tip. And we'll see B.J. Jennings take the ball out here on the near side. He inbounds the ball to Landon Woods, being guarded by number 3, Steven Rogers. Woods takes it off his knee. Ball goes to the Tigers. Johnson worked the ball up, excuse me. Over to Cobb, back to Rogers, to Johnson, to Rogers. Down to Fonda. Rogers to Johnson. Johnson to pull up jumper for 3. Count it. So our 6th lead change. Johnson now has 8 in the game. Woods. Turner steps out. Ball down low to Baker. Loses the handle. Good hands there by number 14, Tyler Cobb. Johnson pushing. He's going to get a block by Jennings. Or excuse me, it was a charge on Johnson. So his second foul. First team foul. Rogers back to Woods. Tries to get it up to Jennings, but tipped out of bounds by Fonda. Tell you, those cross-court and half-court passes are going to be tough against the quickness of these Tigers.
Certainly.
There they try to go over the defense, but the leaping ability of Cobb steals it away. Ball down low to Monroe. Back out to Johnson. To Cobb. Rogers for the long 3. Won't go. Rebound Fonda. Good position. He gives it up to Cobb. No, won't go. We have a foul on the play. Foul against number 35, Sam Turner. His second. That was the one I missed in the first quarter. Rattles around and good for Cobb. And good on the second. Cobb now with 8 in the ball game. The Tiger lead back to 5. Wagner working against Cobb. Kirkpatrick trying to get free. Does so. Picked up by Monroe. Tries to pass it. Stolen away by Fonda. He goes up off the glass. Good. Fonda's first bucket of the ball game. We got a timeout, Bernie. With that timeout, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
Quality Center Furniture and Appliance in downtown Malden for the best selection of Whirlpool and Maytag appliances. We also have the newest LCD, LED, and plasma high-definition televisions from LG and Hitachi, as well as the finest furniture for your living room or bedroom. Quality Center is an AT&T authorized retailer. And don't forget, delivery is available. So come experience the Quality Center Furniture and Appliance store in downtown Malden.
People come from everywhere to get their deal from Lincoln Lacey. They come from Midland, Bloomville, or and from New Madrid, Bertrand, Campbell, Parma, Kelso, Lilburn, Portageville, Risco, Bernie. Lincoln Lacey is your domestic auto needs headquarters. From Rector, Arkansas, Gideon, Sykes, Head in Arkansas, Morehouse, Dexter, Minor, East Prairie, Charleston, Chaffee, Pollard, Arkansas. Come on out to Lincoln Lacey in Malden.
And we're back. Jennings inbound the ball to Wagner. Wagner works the ball down for the Mules, working against Cobb. Over to Jennings. Guarded by Johnson to Kirkpatrick. Double team. Loses the handle but keeps the ball. He's fouled by Cobb. Second team foul. Second foul against Cobb. So now then that was the other one I missed for the Tigers in the first half. Scorebook should be up to date for you there, Tyler. Wagner with the ball. Kirkpatrick. Down to Jennings. Triple team. Foul's going to be on number 3, Steven Rogers. His second. Third team foul. Baker inbound the ball. Not Baker, excuse me, Turner inbound the ball to Wagner. Over to Kirkpatrick. Tigers really have extended that defense to the third three-point line and even a step beyond. Monroe, good anticipation. Last touch by the Tigers. Ball will stay with the Mules. Jennings will take the ball out there on the near side. Inbound to Baker. Goes up and good for the first bucket of the second half. Baker now with 8 in the ball game. Nice pass to Monroe and good use of the glass.
Monroe's really came a long way in basketball over the past year. He was certainly tough to deal with last year just because of his brute physicalness, but this year he's really developed some skills. He really he certainly has.
Three-pointer won't go. Rebound Turner. And the left hand off the glass. Turner with his first bucket of the ball game. We now have a 5-point game. Johnson for 3 from the baseline. Short, won't go. We're going to have Monroe over the back of Turner. Be Monroe's second foul. 4th team foul now against the Tigers. Wood back in, Rogers back in for the Mules. Turner working against Fonda. Double team, finds Bryce underneath. Nice shot by Bryce. Rogers Nice pass there to Fonda underneath for the bucket. Fonda now 4 in the quarter in the ball game. Rogers back to Kirkpatrick, down to Turner, out to Wagner. Back over to Kirkpatrick from the baseline for 3, won't go. Rebound Fonda. He gets it over to Cobb, who will work the ball up for the Tigers. Over to Johnson, back to Cobb. Rogers, back to Rogers. Fonda, and there's Monroe, splits the defense, won't go. A little strong off the glass, rebound Rogers. Wagner pushes the ball down, kicks it out to Kirkpatrick. Good look for 3, won't go. Rebound Monroe. And Rogers. Cobb, rebound Fonda. Fonda's fouled by Woods on the way back up. Woods' second team foul, excuse me, against the Mules. Fonda shoot 2.
Not a bad foul there by Woods. He had the basket all to himself. Might as well just put him to the line to earn the 2.
Jennings and Baker checking in for Wagner and Turner. For the Mules, also in for the Tigers, Jeremy Grant and number 30, Myron Woods. Fonda connects on the second. Woods being guarded by Woods. Bounce Jennings. Finds Landon. Woods. Nice pass from Landon down to Baker. Monroe gets a hold and gets tangled up. He's going to be called for the foul. So that's Darryl Monroe's 3rd personal and 5th team foul against the Tigers, as David Baker will go to the line to shoot. Baker's good on the first. Jennings back in the ball game for the Mules. Baker good on the second. So after missing his first 2, been now perfect 4 for 4. Fonda, touch pass out to Cobb. On the 3, won't go. Jennings gets it over to Kirkpatrick. Picked up by Myron Woods. Ball picked up back out to Bryce Rogers. Over to Jennings. No look pass to Baker. Can't be handled. Tigers push it up. Rogers gets back out to Fonda. Back to Rogers now. Back over to Fonda. To Rogers. Pull up jumper in and out. Won't go. Rebound. Jennings. Kicks it up to Kirkpatrick. He'll drive with the left hand and good. Jonica layup. He now has 10 points in the ball game. And we've got a 2-point ball game again with less than 2 minutes to go into 3rd.
Bernie's holding off the surge of Caruthersville. They opened up the half. I think scoring the first 7 points of the half, but they've worked their way back in.
Rogers, nice pass there to Cobb. Cobb with the bucket. Cobb now with 10 in the ball game. Kirkpatrick for 3, won't go. Rebound Fonda as he pushes the ball up. Pulls it back out to Cobb. To Fonda. Cobb will work it, reverse to Fonda. Splits the defense, nice pass to Woods. And Myron Woods gets his first bucket of the ball game. Lead back up to 6 for the Tigers with under a minute to play here in the 3rd. Baker double team. Loses the handle. Pushed out front to Rogers. Rogers with the layup, his first bucket of the second half. 7 in the ball game now for Steven Rogers. Jennings, pull up, look. Baker to Rogers, back to Jennings. Splits the defense, goes up, won't go. Foul on Elby Fonda. That'll be Elby's third personal, 16th foul now. And we'll see B.J. Jennings on the line to shoot 2. Won't get the roll on the first. Johnson checks in for Fonda for the Tigers, and Turner in for Rogers for the Mules. Good on the second. "13 seconds to go. Sure the Tigers will play for the last shot, or I would expect them to. Johnson works against Woods. Finds Rogers, back to Johnson. Finds Woods. Johnson. Rogers. Johnson for 3. Good at the buzzer. So with that bucket, that's his third 3 of the game. And at the end of 3, but it looks like they only counted it as a 2, Tyler. So 10-point lead at the end of 3. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
If you have the audacity to believe a financial advisor should talk with you, not at you.
If you have the nerve to believe meeting eye to eye helps you see eye to eye.
If you believe access to your financial advisor should be a right, not a privilege.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
Join us. Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
At Allen Christian and Dexter, you'll like the way we do business for many reasons. We make the buying experience simple with a large selection of Buicks and GMCs to choose from. We offer quality pre-owned vehicles priced to fit any budget. No gimmicks, guaranteed. Shop us any day, anytime, here in Dexter or online at allenchristian.com. We service what we sell with one of the most experienced service departments in the Heartland area. Selection, price, experience, family owned for over 53 years. Allen Christian Buick GMC, Dexter.
And we're back. It was a 3-pointer at the end of the game to give the Tigers a 10-point lead here going into the fourth quarter. And Johnson again, count it. That's now 4 threes in the game for Johnson.
Just a few seconds ago, it was,
4-point game.
7-point advantage and 2 3-pointers right in a row. Puts Bernie down 13.
Woods has the ball taken away by Rogers. Over to Johnson. 3-pointer by Fonda. So that's 4 3-pointers in a row now for the Tigers. They're now at a 16-point lead after 12 straight points. Turner with the ball. Matt Vernon in the ball game for the Mules. Baker up and gets the roll.
Nice shot there by Baker. He's had a tough task tonight going up against Monroe down low.
Fonda, the baseline, steps in, jumper, count it. 5 quick points here in the quarter for Fonda. Now 10 in the ball game.
What's that? 4 straight made shots by Caruthersville. Tough shots as well.
Woods won't go. Rebound Fonda. He'll hand the ball off to Cobb. 6.5 to go here in the ball game now. Cobb over to Rogers. Down low to Monroe. Pass out to Fonda. Back down to Cobb and taken away by Baker. Or Woods, excuse me, up to Turner. Oh, he's one too many steps as he faked the pass to Vernon.
He got fooled on that one. That was Jamal Johnson kind of faking that he was going to step over in front of Turner, and then he went back out to the guard on the perimeter here, and Turner just got fooled.
Yep. Still a good looking
defense.
shot with the left hand.
Yeah.
Rogers with the ball, down low now to Monroe, spins, loses the handle, picked up by Jennings. Jennings fouled by Monroe. That's going to be Daryl Monroe's 4th foul, 17th foul, so Bernie now in the bonus. Be 2 shots for Jennings. Gets the roll on the first. Monroe will take a seat. Number 12, Jeremy Grant, checks in the ball game. Jennings gets the second. Johnson now tapped out of bounds by Jennings as Bernie brings the press. Johnson working against Vernon. Pass tipped by Jennings again, but can't handle it, knocked out of bounds. Rogers for 3, won't go. Rebound Cobb, back up, won't go, but there's a foul on the play. Foul's going to go against number 5, B.J. Jennings, his second. 3rd team foul against the Mules. As Cobb will be at the line shooting 2. Body English doesn't help it out there. He knew he was going to miss as soon as he shot it.
He tried to lean that one in. Yeah.
Turner back in for the Mules as Vernon to take a seat. Matt Vernon.
Just like that, players shoot that free throw and they see it's off and they try to lean one way, thinking that's going to
change the arc.
Change the rotation of the earth somehow.
Doesn't get the roll on the second. Rogers touch pass out to Kirkpatrick, won't go. Rebound Fonda. Cobb works the ball up for the Tigers, over to Rogers. Rogers being guarded by Kirkpatrick. Johnson back over to Rogers. Got a foul on Baker underneath, away from the ball. That'll be Dave Baker's first. 4th team foul against the Mules. Three-pointer by Rogers, his second of the game. Now with 10 points in the ball game. Woods loses the handle, ball out of bounds to the Tigers with 5 minutes to go here in the 4th.
You can just see how Caruthersville can play with anyone around. When they're playing this well, they're shooting the ball this well. That's what really makes them that tough of a game, that when they're shooting the ball as good as they are.
So Johnson no good on the 3, rebounded by Fonda, but timeout to the Tigers. We'll take a quick break.
First Midwest Bank Gold Club offers special privileges for our friends who are age 50 or better and have combined deposits of $5,000. Members enjoy trips, cruises, seminars, and picnics along with free personalized bank services. Upcoming trips include Journey Through the Holy Land, Yellowstone in winter, Classic Ireland, and Hawaiian Paradise Cruise. Stop by any First Midwest Bank location to sign up for the Gold Club. It's absolutely free. First Midwest Bank, providing common sense financial solutions every day.
And we're back. Ball be with the Tigers. 5 minutes to go. We got a 17-point lead for the Tigers now as they really started to pull away here late in the game. Fonda take the ball out, inbound it to Cobb. Shoots a 3, won't go. Rebound Baker. To Woods. Down to Rogers. Tries to get it over to Turner. Intercepted ball. It's intercepted now by Jennings. They'll set it back up. Baker, nice move. Won't get the roll. Turner with the rebound and the putback. Sam Turner now, his second bucket, 2 in the quarter, 4 in the game. Coach Eves wanting to spread the offense out, bring the defense out. Content to run some time off the clock. Play for the open shot. Taken away by Bernie. Jennings loses the handle, picked up by Cobb. Goes splits the
what a
defense.
move.
What an acrobatic move there by Tyler Cobb. Tyler now with 12 points in the ball game. Woods, nice pass to Baker, but loses the handle. He's fouled by Rogers. That'll be Rogers' third. Team foul number 8. So Baker fouled before the shot. Be a 1-and-1. Brad Freed checks in for the Mules, as well as Kirkpatrick. Baker in and out. Cobb with the ball, back to Rogers. Cobb. Johnson now. Tigers looking to just take time off the clock. Rogers penetrating, won't get the shot, but he's fouled by Turner. That'll be Sam's third personal, 5th team foul now against the Mules. And Rogers will shoot 2. Gets the roll on the first. And the second. Baker loses the handles. He's picked up, double teamed by Johnson, being guarded by Grant. Cobb back to Rogers, being guarded by Kirkpatrick. Over to Cobb. Splits the defense, loses the handle, but knocked out of bounds by B.J. Jennings. Ball will stay with the Tigers with 2:45 to go here in the ball game. Cobb works the offense. Johnson. Drives and the scoop.
What a nice move.
Jennings out to Rogers. Back to Jennings. Looks to go baseline. Can't do it. Gets it into Clayton. Back to Rogers. Jennings, Clayton. Down low. There's Turner. Splits the defense. Nice turnaround move there by Turner. Facing up to the basket. Rogers working against Rogers. Ball down to Fonda now, working against Turner. Rogers back up. Now Johnson, 1.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Johnson working against Jennings. Nice pass there to number 12, Jeremy Grant. His first bucket of the game. As we now approach 1 minute left. Jennings working against Johnson. Turner. Take away there by Cobb. And the left-hand layup, good. Cobb now 4 1/4, 14 in the ball game. We approach 45 seconds left. Rogers double team and the takeaway off of Cobb. Ball will go to the Mules. Daryl Monroe checks back into the ball game for the Tigers. Kirkpatrick over to Turner. Down low to Clayton. Clayton off the front of the rim and the glass. Rebound Tigers. Rogers, or Cobb, excuse me, now working against Bryce Rogers. Johnson being guarded by Jennings. 17 seconds to go. Johnson splits the defense. Won't go. Rebound Monroe. Body's on the ground, but no foul. Fonda to Monroe. Won't go. Rebound Bryce Rogers. 3 seconds. Heaved by Kirkpatrick. Won't go, and that's the ball game. Tigers successful here in Bernie on senior night. 72-49. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with game stats.
Hello, I'm Dr. Terry Swinger, and I'm so pleased that YHC TV will be carrying so many sporting events this year, both boys and girls. These events help with leadership, personality development, and I would like to wish all of our students and all of our schools a safe and successful year.
I'm Danny Ford, owner of Glen Saint. We realize the best advertising we have is when our customers tell us about their buying experience at Glen Saint, with price and service.
We have an outstanding service and parts department that I think you'll be very, very proud of. Every day we come to work and look forward to selling our next GMC truck and have been doing so ever since my late grandfather, Glenn Sain, started the business in 1954.
We invite you to come and see us and see why so many are buying from us. And God bless our troops.
When I was a kid, we didn't have all these wireless devices. We only had one computer plugged into the wall, and we were grateful.
Technology changes fast. Stay ahead with blazing fast internet speeds from New Wave Communications. New Wave delivers the internet with incredible speeds, up to 50 megabits per second. Pick the package that's right for you. New Wave, the area's fastest internet, period.
Kids today don't know how good they have it.
And we're here post-game. Final score of 72-49. The Caruthersville Tigers on top of the Bernie Mules tonight. And Ed, we saw a close game pretty much through 3 quarters, but Caruthersville just too much in the end and put it out to a 20-plus point win for the Tigers.
Yes, the athleticism, the speed, the quickness finally wore the Bernie Mules down. We saw it. It was, like you said, I think a 4-point game with about a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. But 4 straight threes and another bucket by Elby Fonda, and next thing you know, at the end of 3, Tigers are up 10.
Yeah, it was at the end of that third quarter. I believe it was a 7-point game going into the fourth quarter, and I think it was Johnson hitting a 3 right at the end of the third quarter, making it 10.
Yeah.
And right out of the jump of the fourth quarter, I think it was Johnson maybe hitting that 3 at the beginning of the fourth. Got it out to 13 and a few more baskets, and it was pretty much all Caruthersville at that point.
Yes, and they really picked up their defense, their press there later in the game as well. We saw early in the first half when the Tigers pressed, they got their lead. When it came off the press, that allowed Bernie to get the ball back, and not get the ball back, but get some buckets and get back into the ball game. And here in the second half, Coach Eve just made sure that didn't happen. So pretty balanced attack tonight from the Tigers. They were led by 2 guys, Jamal Johnson, the 5'10 sophomore, and Daryl Monroe, the 6'2 sophomore, both with 16 points apiece. 12 points to Stephen Rogers, the 5'10 juniors, 10 points to Elby Fonda, the 5'10 senior. 14 points to Tyler Cobb, 5'10 senior. Then 2 points each to Jeremy Grant and Myron Woods. Also a balanced attack from the Mules. With that, Tigers had 7 3-pointers and shot 5 of 8 from the free throw line. The Mules, led by B.J. Jennings, 13 points, 12 points to David Baker, 10 points to Troy Kirkpatrick, 6 points each, Bryce Rogers and Sam Turner, then 2 points to the senior Jacob Clayton. 4 3-pointers for the Mules, and they shot at 7 of 11 from the free throw line. So just a little more athleticism, a little more quickness, some jumping ability, and a little more height on the court for the Tigers.
Caruthersville, Bernie had a plan to come in, try to take away the lane from Caruthersville, because that's where they can really get into the paint and dump off to Monroe and hit those little runners in the lane. That's what they're best at. And they had a plan to try to force them to shoot from the outside, and they did, but they converted from the outside, shot very well from the perimeter. So and when Caruthersville's playing like that, they're hitting shots from the outside, and plus you've got Monroe on the inside doing what he does. They're just awful tough to beat. And that's why if they play like this they did tonight, they're going to be very tough to beat in that Class 3 district in Bloomfield coming up this next week. And Bernie, at times, they played very well. They played neck and neck with Caruthersville, forcing turnovers onto the Tigers and converting themselves. So at times they played very well. So they got to look at a few times in this game that they were right there neck and neck with Caruthersville, and they could take that into their district tournament, even though you come away with a loss. But looking back, what you did well, and just try to sustain that. That's what's so hard, is to sustain that effort over 4 quarters. So and they probably won't run into a team quite with the attack that Caruthersville has in that Class 2 district. So Caruthersville, that's the first time we've seen them this year here on YHC. I've been looking forward to having them all year, and we finally got to see them, and they're a very talented bunch, and when they're hitting on all cylinders, such as they were tonight, inside and out, they can beat anyone in the area, and that goes to show how they took Sykeston right down to the wire, one of the best teams in the area, and they've taken some losses to some teams you wouldn't necessarily expect them to, but they're one of those teams this year, as we've seen all year long. Even Bernie's one of those teams this year. They'll play well and then not so well the next day or the next game or the next week. So Caruthersville is certainly going to be a handful for anyone coming down the line. And Bernie, going into their Class 2 District 1 tournament, they're sizing up well with all the teams in that district after beating Holcomb earlier this week. Holcomb's actually seated ahead of them second, they're third, and beating Hayti, that's the 4 seed, right here a few weeks ago by 28 points. And Portageville's got the 1 seed. I don't think they've matched up head-to-head this year, if I'm recalling correctly. So they're going to be looking good going into their district. It just all amounts to execution.
Yes.
But they know going in they can play with anybody.
Absolutely. So like I said, district's right around the corner. They've already started at the 4A with the girls playing tonight, semifinals, and we'll see finals tomorrow from Sykeston, both boys and girls at Class 4A. So here, Class 3, Class 2 coming in next week. It's going to be some exciting basketball here in Southeast Missouri.
Sure, and we'll be monitoring it all. This is our last telecast regular season game, but we'll be having some district play coming up and state tournament play, so be sure to tune in for that, and we'll bring more to you here on YHC. For myself, Tyler Wagner, Ed Gargis, along with the broadcast tonight. Appreciate your help, Ed.
Glad to be here. Thanks for asking.
Sure, and Andy King on camera. That does it for us tonight, and Bernie. Take care, everyone.